So welcome back to part 3 of the manual shaper build. If you didn't see part 1 and 2, go and check them out. In the previous videos we got the main body of the manual shaper made, and in the last video we got the ram and the lever put together, so we now have some working parts and it's starting to get exciting. So in this video we are going to build the head where the cutting tool will go on here, and hopefully we'll get round to also creating the cross slide where we'll have our adjustment left and right. So let's get into the video. We've got more parts to skim for the head. This is going to be the head that goes on here. So we'll get these parts skimmed, drilled and tapped, and we'll start assembling it all. So I've now faced off those plates. I saved you watching that again. All I did is I used a facing mill, as I've done in the previous videos, to face off these plates. So now this is the head block set up in the vise now. It's a 25mm thick plate. So in this face of the head block we've got 6 holes to drill and tap, which will hold the guides for the vertical adjustment. We've got a big 38mm hole to put in here. I'll be going in with various size drills up to this. This is a 34.5mm drill, so I'll be using drills up to this size, and then from there I'll be putting in the boring head just to take it out that last 2mm on the radius. Then the part needs turned. There's holes to drill in this end and through here, so we'll get on with it. We'll get this part drilled. We've got other parts to drill, and then what I will do is I'll probably need to take this out and check it on the ram itself. What I plan to do is, once I get to the boring size where I'm using the boring head, I'm going to be using this telescoping gauge. I've set this up. What I did is I put a micrometer on the round end of the ram, and then I've just set this telescoping gauge to the inside of that micrometer. So I'll just be using this to get a feel for how close I am on the size. I don't want it too big, because the idea is once I've got this hole in, we'll slot it up here so there's a bit of relief, so we can then clamp it and close it on the end of the ram. So I don't want it too tight, but neither do I want it too slack that I can't clamp it tight to the ram. So we'll just take it easy on that. So I'll just talk you through the drill sizes I'm going to use. At the moment I've just spot drilled it, centre drilled it. Next I'll be going in with this 5mm drill. I'll then open it up to 10mm. Then after that I'll be going up to 20mm drill, and then after that I'll be going with the 34.5mm, and then, as I say, after that we'll be moving on to the boring head to get it to the final size. Okay, so it fits up. Yeah, so that's a good fit. There is a little bit of play there, but we still need to cut a slot in there so that we can clamp it shut a bit. So hopefully we haven't took too much out. Hopefully we can close that up with the relief that we create and the bolts that will pass right through the block. So now I'll get the collet chuck in, we'll get a milling cutter in there, and we'll cut that slot out. So what I'm doing now is I've got 3 holes to drill down each side, and that's what's going to hold the guide, the vertical adjustment. So I've got these bits that will fit on here, and then there'll be a bit that slides up and down, which is controlled with a lead screw. So the last thing to do on this part is there's 2 holes to drill and tap in the top face here, and all that's going to do is going to hold the bracket that will hold the vertical lead screw nut. So it's 2 M6 holes, 20mm deep, to go in the top of here. So I've got the head fitted on there now. The slot and the bolt that we put through here, unfortunately it wasn't given enough clamping force to fix that to the ram. So what I had to do is I'd drilled and tapped hole, and the cap head bolt there, that just locks directly onto the side of the round section of the ram, and now it's solid. It's acting as one part now, so that's locked it together well. So next thing we need to do is we've got this top plate to drill so that we can bolt it to the top of the ram, and also guides to drill so we can bolt it to the front like that. We'll have that sort of arrangement on both sides, and then this will be where our cutting tool will sit, and we'll have to drill that so we can get the lead screw to fix to it, and then that'll be the vertical adjustment there. So I've got that top plate set up in here, and that's what's going to hold the lead screw nut. Be sat that way up, bolts coming from the underside, and then those holes will need counterboard on that bottom side. It's going to be quite a complex little part, a little arrangement of holes here. So what I'll do is I'll just share a shot from the drawing, just so you can see what I'm planning on doing. So that's that bracket finished, and I've got the lead screw nut fixed onto there, and just trowel fit the lead screw. All I've done on the other end is I've just turned down a bit of bar. It's just 4mm thick, and I've locked it on with a nut. I just turned on a M6 thread on the end of that lead screw. At the moment it's still full length. I still need to cut it down. It doesn't need to be long. So next thing to do is to make the vertical guides that will go onto here. So we've now got the guides drilled, so the next thing to do is we can assemble it onto the head of the shaper. So this part I've got set up here is the saddle, and this is the part that's going to slide back and forth along the cross slide. So we've got holes to drill in this to clamp it to the guides and the guide packers, and also some holes to drill and tap so we can clamp material to this or a angle plate or whatever we might be using. So here I've got the tool holder set up, so we've got a few holes to drill in here. This one's going to be a M12 tapped hole, and this will have a post on it where we can clamp the cutting tool to it. There's some holes to drill in the end where the lead screw will fit in, and there's also a hole to drill in the side here for a grub screw to lock the lead screw in position. Okay, so here we've got all the parts. You've seen me make this saddle, and you've seen me make the tool head here. Some of the parts you haven't seen me make here as well. We've got the guides and the spacers for the saddle. They're very similar to the guides and the spacer for the vertical adjustment for the vertical travel. This has got a bit of a recess machined out of it just where the lead screw nut carrier fixes to it. So working this way, I've then made a tool holder which screws to the tool head. That screws all the way in there, and then we've got our tool there which fixes into it like on most shapers, and we've got a locking screw there that locks the tool in place. You've already seen the top nut carrier. I've also finished the lead screw for the vertical adjustment. I've got the handle on the top there, the little hand wheel which is locked on with the M6 nylock nut, and then on this end I've just turned it down so it'll fit in the end of the tool head, and there's also a bit of a rebate machined into that, and that's where the grub screw will lock it in position. I've also put a M6 thread on each end of the horizontal cross slide lead screw, so the hand wheels again can thread onto the ends, and again they're locked on with the M6 nylock screw. This is our horizontal lead screw nut carrier for the cross slide, and that fixes onto that guide for the saddle there. And then the last two parts we have here, these are mirror images of each other, and that's because they fix on the opposite ends of the cross slide, and they've got a phosphor bronze and I think the oil pregnated as well. Oil light bushes I think is the name. So they've got oil light bushes pressed into them, and that's where the lead screw will go through. Maybe not needed because there won't be a lot of load, but at least I've got something I can replace if there is some wear over time. in there from the lead screw. Plus, I'd rather have those wear than the lead screws themselves. So this is all the parts completed now, so we can start the final assembly of the shaper, and we'll see if we can get some cuts made and get this project finished. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fit the cutting head, which slides in here inside those guides, but before we do that we need to get the lead screw needs to go through the lead screw nut carrier, and then the tool head has a hole in the top for the lead screw to fit into, and then inside that hole there's a grub screw that just locks onto the lead screw into that recess I showed you earlier. So there's the lead screw fitted to the tool head, so we can slide the tool head in, and then we'll just fix the nut carrier in position. Two nuts left to go in the front of here. So now we can adjust the cutting tool up and down, and there's a good bit of resistance on there as well. So the next thing we can do is put the lead screw carriers on each end of the cross slide. So we've got the lead screw carriers on there now. Next I'm going to fit the cross slide lead screw nut carrier to the top guide for the saddle. And I recessed that top guide just so it stopped the lead screw nut from turning. So right way up, it's better. So now we can put the lead screw through the lead screw carriers, and then we'll also feed it through that lead screw nut. So the lead screws now pass through this lead screw carrier. Just put a locking nut on. So that's bottomed right out on that M6 thread now, so we can put the little hand wheel on. Take that right up to the nut, and then again we'll put another little M6 nylock nut on the other side. Put a spanner this end just to make sure it's all locked up. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble the bottom guide to the back of the saddle. Again, that's just with M6 screws. Got an M6 screw which passes through a spacer. So we can now hook the saddle under the cross rail, like so. We've got another spacer to sit in here. So there we have it, the shaper is complete. Now the saddle, it has 6 tapped holes in here, as you saw me drill and tap earlier. So we can either bolt a bit of material straight to the face, so it's straight up and down like this if we want to cut the end of a bit of material, or depending on what the shape is, if it's easiest to use that. Or my plan is eventually to buy an angle plate that I can bolt onto there, and that'll give me a flat table to fix stuff to. So I'll just talk you through the operation of how it works, what we've got. So that lead screw on the cross slide, if we turn the hand wheels on either side, we can adjust the left and right position. We can move our cut over, or we can position the feature we want. The hand wheel on top, that can adjust the depth of cut. And then of course we've got the hand lever on top, which makes the cut. It pushes the tool through the material. And then the last feature we have on this mini shaper, this manual shaper, is we've got a lock and screw on the side of the head here, which if we release we can then adjust the angle of the head. So there we have it, the shaper is complete. I'm very happy with it. Now the drawings, if you would like a copy of the drawings to make one of these yourself, then go to my website. There's a new post on there, and that explains how you can get hold of a copy of the drawings to make one of these. Now it wouldn't be a very good end to this video series if I didn't show you it working. Didn't have a go at cutting something. So here what I've done is I've just got a bit of 100 by 100 box section. I've faced off 2 sides at a right angle, and I've bolted it to that cross slide to the saddle. And in the top I've got a few tapped holes just so I can create a bit of a fence and something to clamp it down. So let's give it a try. Let's see if we can get it to take some material off this bit of scrap alloy. So at the moment can't get the material that way enough, so I think what I might do is just turn the head, because I've put the cutting edge on that side there, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so it definitely needs to be fixed down. I think it would work if it was fixed down to a bench. Let's definitely take a material off. I'll have a go at reducing the depth of cut again. Try that. I think what I'll do is I'm just going to sharpen that blade a bit more. So I've sharpened that cutting tool now. It's a lot sharper now, and it's making a better cut. Now it is making a very light cut. But all I intend to use this for is for cutting really small keyways in some alloy parts for the mini caterham. So I think a bit more practice with it, and I've got a new bench grinder coming, so I'm trying to get this tool a bit sharper, and it should be okay. So I'm going to call that the end of this series. You'll see more of this manual shape being used in upcoming videos, especially on the mini caterham. I'll be making some new tooling and things so I can do internal keyways. As I say, if you would like to have a go at making one of these yourself, you can go to my website www.mr-mechanical.co.uk, and on there it explains how you can get a copy of the drawings to make this. Time it took us to make this, I've also received from some more stickers. I've received a sticker from Craig's workshop, and that's on my whiteboard now. Craig has lots of interesting videos using, he's got a lathe that I'm very jealous of, and he's got a very nice milling machine as well, and he does lots of interesting projects, so go check out his channel as well. So if you have a sticker, send us an email and we can arrange to get it on my whiteboard. And if you like a sticker off me, then I can send you one free of charge. So thanks for watching this series. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it, like the video, comment. If you've got any ideas on how I could maybe improve this to get it to cut a bit better. I think at the moment it's going to be practice and getting a sharper tool in there, I think. There are a few modifications I'd like to do which will come no doubt in future videos. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and I'll see you again next time.